Welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspirational Wisdom. D-Man the Illusionist here, and today I'm going to talk about masculinity again. I talk about masculinity quite a bit because I believe it's so important because we are lacking it here in the United States. We have this feminist movement since the 60s. I grew up with that. Nothing against women. I love women. It's just that they want equality, and I believe in equal rights. It's just men and women are never going to be the same. I'm different, they're different. And it's almost like society, at least our Western society, acts like or speaks like there's something wrong with masculinity. Not quite sure what the problem is, but it is masculinity at its best or worst, however you want to look at it, that built nations and countries and made places safe where the women could live. I was looking at history today. The Battle of Somme was in 1916. Over 1 million people died on both sides. It was in World War I against Germany. It was one of the bloodiest battles in history. Men fought these battles. Men died in these battles. Men died to give women a safe place, a place where they could live against depression, a place where they could raise their children in safety. How many married men, husbands, do you think went over there and gave their lives so their children and their wives could live safely back at home? You think they wanted to go and die? Of course they didn't want to go. I'm sure their wives didn't want them to go, but they went because that's what men do. That's what masculinity is. Masculinity stands up and fights for what it believes in. When you're at home at night and someone comes in your house, is it the husband or the wife that goes down to see who it is? Of course, the man needs to get up and go down and find out who is in the house because he is the one that is going to protect his wife and his family. Now, if we don't have masculine men, I don't think the woman's going to get up and protect the family. So we need to rethink this, what some people are calling toxic masculinity. There's nothing toxic about masculinity, no more than there's nothing toxic about femininity. I love a feminine woman. And masculine men are good men. I mean, you have good women, bad women. You have good men, bad men. It has nothing to do whether they're masculine or feminine. So it's not the masculinity that makes a man bad or good. It's just a character trait, a biological, how would you say? It's just the way we are biologically. Men are masculine, women are feminine. Now, I'm not saying there are some men. I think there's about 2% of women that can actually do like the Navy SEAL training or that Special Forces type training. So given there are women that have some masculine traits, and there are some men that have feminine traits. Thus, probably why some people are born and they feel as though they're a woman, or decide that they are gay, whatever. If it's a decision or if they just are, I'm not sure. That's up to each individual to decide for themselves. I won't even go there. But the point is, if we destroy or dissimulate or downgrade or try to get rid of masculinity in our society, it won't be long before we'll fall. And we have other countries who are very masculine who will take over our country. And when it comes right down to it, if we get attacked or invaded and technology can't protect us, it's going to be the masculine men that save the women and the children, who go out there and die for the women and children. Now, if they're feminine or if they're too afraid or if they're not tough or strong, who's going to protect the women and children? That's something these people with a feminine imperative need to think about. But see, when we live in such a safe society where everything is taken care for us, when our biggest concern is, oh gee, I have a flat tire. You know, probably 80% of the people in the world don't even have cars. Okay, what is it? I read a statistic that 80 or 85% of people got up this morning to look for firewood to cook on. We don't have to worry about that here. I lived in a Latin American country for 6 years. Okay, the women down there wash their clothes on what they call a pila. A lot of them wash their clothes in the river, a dirty river. A lot of them wash their clothes in a lake where the water comes from the lake and the sewage goes back in the lake. Fortunately, it's a big enough lake that you can't really see it, but it's in there. Not here in America. We feel entitled to have a washer and a dryer. We have it so good here. My dog is barking. I thought I could make this video without the dogs having a fit. But we are just so entitled here that we have too much time to be focusing on things that don't matter. If we had a war and our boys were being sent off to die every day, like during World War II or World War I, we wouldn't have these trivial matters that it's like we look for problems, something to focus on and make into a big deal. We just need to get back to the basics of respecting what a man is and his place in society, and what a woman is and her place in society. And we need to allow fathers to have some control and say over their children in the marriages, because the marriage and the divorce laws in the United States are terrible. The man has 100% responsibility and 0% power or say over anything that happens to his kid. So there's no incentive for a man to get married. It's a losing proposition. That's something you younger people need to think about in your 20s before you sign that marriage certificate. It's a wonderful idea. I believe in the marriage. The problem here in the United States is once you get married, those kids, if you have kids, anything that you have, it's not yours. I mean, if you come into the marriage with something, that's half hers when you get married, at least in this state. And the kids go to the wife. You get to see them every other weekend if she lets you. Now, some people may say, well, that's the law. She has to let you see them. No, she doesn't. She doesn't have to let you see those kids. If you go to the house, she's not there, that's too bad. Call the police, they won't do anything. You can take her back to court. The judge may slap her on the wrist, reprimand her, but they really won't do anything. But now, if you don't pay child support, they will send you to jail. I know people that have been sent to jail for not paying child support. I don't know any woman who has ever had to go to jail for not allowing her husband to see the kids. So that's something to think about before you get married. I've been through it before. I'm talking from experience. I'm not sure what it's like in other states, but in Missouri, it's not good. I have 5 boys. I recommend all of them not to get married, unless they want to have some type of a ceremony, but not a legal marriage. Anyway, I hope this has been of help to you today. Hit the like and subscribe button and share it with a friend. Have a great day. See you next time.